Oh my goodness. Happy 2020. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Lorilee.
Happy decade. New decade.
Can
A
you,
new decade.
it's really crazy, isn't it?
Yes.
So hello everybody and welcome, and it is the new year. And what better way than to start your new year than with self-care? And this is the self-care guru. So Lorilee Gillmore in Phoenix of Moksha Ayurveda PHX. That's Moksha Ayurveda PHX. That's how you can find her.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is a holistic health practitioner. Before we get into all that, I want to acknowledge this is a new decade.
Yeah.
And I remember as a child thinking of the year 2020 and going, I'm going to be so old.
It was like Blade Runner time, you know? I mean, we were going to be in flying cars and, you know, all of that.
Well, and even people talked about video, and one day you'll be able to talk to people and see them. Hello, look where we have come, how far we have come.
Live
Streaming. And whether you're a techie or not, or whether you love social media or not, because there's a whole deal about that too, there are some huge benefits to it. And that's why we're here today starting the year with, just self-care. This is 2020. This is January 1st, 2020. A magnificent day.
Mm-hmm.
And so Lorilee, I've met in the yoga world. She is not just and if you don't know what Ayurveda is, you're gonna know in just a minute, because it's really the science of life
and longevity.
Mm-hmm. So I met Lorilee through the yoga community, through some of my teacher trainings, and really, I'm now like getting really drawn to her even more and more. And because I also am growing in my self-care and my education of self-care. And bottom line is, if we don't take care of our health, we don't have anything. It doesn't matter how much money we have. It doesn't matter anything, because if we don't have our health, we don't have anything. So before you get into what we're going to give you 5 points today, 5 beautiful tips that are simple, that will help you get on that journey. If you're already on it, great. You're going to love listening to this anyway. But if you're not, and you're just seeking something, or you just, how can I be, from the moment you wake up, it begins. Self-care begins that way. Mm-hmm. Hey, Jonathan. Aw, thank you for everything and helping me promote this. I love you. So the self-care, it wasn't always a natural thing for you.
Oh gosh, no.
So can you share a little bit about your story and how you got here to this place today?
Sure. So I actually started as a massage therapist. I went to massage therapy school. And then when I was in massage therapy school, one of my teachers, and it's amazing that circled back around to Dr. David Crow, who is the owner and operator of Floracopia Oils, which, if you don't know Floracopia, fantastic. He and his beautiful wife, Sarah, do an amazing job with sustainable oils. But he was my first herbology teacher in 1994. And I remember coming home and telling my roommates, I lived in Santa Monica, and I remember telling my roommates that I was going to become a vegetarian. They almost fell off their bar stool and said, how is McDonald's going to survive? Well, wow. Yeah. So big change.
Now they have plant-based burgers.
Right. But, during that time, I really began to learn that, as circling back around to what you said, you can have all the money in the world, but health is your living wealth. Health is your living wealth.
That's a beautiful mantra. Health is your living wealth.
Yes.
I love that.
Because you can have a beautiful house, you can have cars, you can have money, but if you are healthy, both in body and mind, as well, in the mind as well. Mm-hmm. So what Ayurveda does, it's a many thousand, 5,000 to 7,000 year old tradition, medicine, philosophy, and it helps to create vitality, create vim and vigor in your body and your mind. And especially as I age, a lot of it is because it is the science of life and longevity. So much of it is to work with anti-aging, which I used to not care about so much until, once you start going over 50, then that 50-year mark, things, you start feeling things. And so, I'm really grateful that I've had, decade plus, well over a decade of time to study this, immerse myself in this, and actually live it. And the only way that I can teach it is because I have to live this practice, and I see it in my mind, I see it in my body. And it's really interesting, actually. We were just in Northern California visiting family for Christmas, and we were staying in an Airbnb, and the way the Airbnb was set up, I couldn't do my dinacharya.
What is that?
Oh, dinacharya. Sorry, dinacharya are daily rituals. I couldn't do my daily rituals. So of course, we were doing some pranayama, and I would do my meditation, things like that. But doing the oil massage and I came back and being surrounded with a lot of sick people for, one day, I started to spiral down. Thank God I've got this wealth of of herbs and spices,
organic celery, organic cinnamon sticks, organic cumin. Oh my gosh, this is an apothecary of good medicine.
And so I implemented that, and I was able to turn things around really quickly. But contrast is always our best teacher. So when we are steeped in something and then we don't have the opportunity to do, even think about if you don't have an opportunity to, or if you don't make the time to meditate for a day or two, the effect that it has on your mind.
Oh, it does.
Right.
It does.
Right. And so this is the foundation of
things get out of balance.
They get out of balance quick. Yeah. So my Kundalini teacher, Jaidev, teaches that meditation's like brushing your teeth. If you miss one day, you notice. If you miss 2 days, your closest ones around you notice. If you miss 3 days, other people start to notice. And if you miss 4 days, everybody notices. And so we want to implement these practices and have them be just part of what we do. And so when I teach daily rituals, I like to go from the real to the ideal, because the real might be that you're rolling out of bed 10 minutes before you have to go to work. You're hitting the coffee maker, grabbing your cup of coffee, throwing on clothes, hitting yourself with some deodorant, and going out the door. Well, think of your state of mind when you're like that. Then the state of mind, it's very rajasic, which rajasic is excess activity. And we want to be able to go into our day in a sattvic state, which that is a state of harmony, peace, and clarity. And so all of these practices, they seem like they're for the physical, but in Ayurveda, we don't separate the body and the mind, because the physical is the substratum for the mind. The physical is what shows the state of the mind. And so one of my favorite Ayurvedic sayings is, your issues are in your tissues.
I say that now. Maybe I learned it from you. Yes. I probably did.
Your issues are in your tissues. Exactly.
Yeah.
So when we want to start the day based in a state of gratitude and devotion. And so my very first daily ritual, and the reason that I say ritual instead of a resolution or something like that is because rituals are heart-based. A lot of what we do is habitual. A habit is not a ritual. Those are two different things. But when we are practicing rituals, they're based in the heart. And so as soon as I wake up, as soon as I come into consciousness that I'm waking up, I just start saying thank you. I say, thank you for my husband I'm lying next to. Thank you for the silly dogs that are in our bed. Thank you for the bed. Thank you for the house. Thank you for my practice. Thank you for my son that's downstairs. And I start that as soon as I come into consciousness that I'm awake. Because think of the contrast, circling back to contrast as our greatest teacher. Think of the contrast of waking up and going, oh God, I have to do this again.
And think of how many people do that.
Right.
And Monday mornings and heart attacks. It's like statistics show that the most heart attacks happen on a Monday morning. And it's bad when you wake up and you're like dreading your day ahead.
Right. It's going to set the tone for the day.
Right.
Absolutely sets the tone for the day. So waking up
and the tissues
with gratitude, absolutely, because then that tone goes into the tissues. Another teaching that Ayurveda is established in is we want to work with circadian rhythms. That means work with the nature, work with the cycles of the sun. So in Ayurveda, we always want to wake up with or before the sun. So waking up a little bit before the sun comes up, that's a very sattvic, back to sattvic, it's a very harmonious, balancing time of day. And so you'll find that things are just more calm and peaceful during that time of day. Once the sun comes up, it moves into something called kapha time of day. And kapha is one of the three constitutions or doshas. Yeah.
Constitutions in Ayurveda.
Yeah. And we can go into that another time.
And we're going to have her back because we're going to talk a lot about this stuff.
That's a whole nother thing. But let me just say, in Ayurveda, we look at everything through qualities. And so the quality of kapha time of day is heavy, slow, sluggish, and dull. And I just want you to take a moment and think of the contrast of when you are lying in bed and it's 8:30 and you're hitting the alarm going 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. And notice when you wake up, you don't wake up filled with that energy. You wake up feeling heavy and lethargic. And so what do we reach for? Coffee and sugar, right? Cup of coffee and a donut. But if we wake up before the sun rises, that's during something called vata time of day, another dosha. And so vata has to do with movement. And it's made out of the elements of ether and air. So it's lighter. And so you just have the tendency to wake up and you will have sustained energy throughout the day. Mm-hmm. I promise you. Mm-hmm. And then once it becomes a ritual, you just naturally will wake up at that time of day before the sun rises, which that's going to change throughout the year because of the seasons. In the wintertime, now, you can wake up a little bit later and still be waking up before the sun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, before with the sun. So that's ritual number one.
That's ritual one.
Ritual one.
Wake up.
With gratitude.
Yes.
Wake up with gratitude. Set the foundation with gratitude. And then as soon as you wake up, walk your little self into the bathroom and pick up one of these. This is a tongue cleaner. And during the night, when you're sleeping, your body's detoxing. Our body's always trying to heal itself. And so we want to work with our body to help it heal itself. So what you want to do is you want to take a metal tongue scraper, stick out your tongue, and 7 to 9 times scrape that white gunk off your tongue. So that's called ama.
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 The very first time I did that, I was going gross. Like, this is gross. But it's so good to do. My kids have them. They got them in their stockings last year. My husband. So, this is really important. And it's taken me years to, learn this. And it's so important because of the bacteria and the toxins, as you were mentioning, that, think of it, what's happening and you're getting that off. So.
Because the thing is, if you don't get it off, the body reabsorbs it. And the body's like, man, I've been working all night long to try to get this off my tongue. And so you scrape it 7 to 9 times and then you'll get a bunch of yucky stuff, but it is a game changer. And this is the one thing, when I get people that I'm working with to start doing this, they always come back and they go, how have I not been scraping my tongue?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Ayurveda has been around for 5,000 years, and it just takes a long time for things to get over here to the West, right?
Yeah.
But there's a movement. We're going off on a tangent, not really, but we'll get back to the 5 principles. But, there is a movement happening, and the timing in this world, and I think in the Western, people are looking, they're searching for something that is more natural for our own bodies to be able to heal themselves, right? Yeah. And pharmacy, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm not knocking it all, but it's not everything. And there are side effects with drugs. And this is activating your own body's healing responses. And that's what as many of you know, why I'm so passionate about all of this. So let's get back. So principle 1, we wake up with the sun or a little before and have gratitude. And I did that this morning. I was just laying there and loving, my husband's there, the doggies are in the bed. And I was thinking the same things, just so simple things.
Right.
But
important.
And it might sound corny, but it's not. You might think we're on La La Land, but we are.
And it's fantastic.
It's great.
Yeah. Okay, so then after we do that, we drink out of a copper vessel. And so it's important to get a high quality, pure copper vessel. And what we do is at night before we go to bed, fill this up with water and just let it sit all night. And this is going to help to flush the GI tract. It's going to help us with our elimination. It also attacks free radicals. It gets the free radicals, helps you to urinate them out. It helps to It helps with any inflammation. It's a fantastic anti-inflammatory. And as many of you know, inflammation is a huge problem that we are dealing with. And so these are like really simple things that you can implement. And whenever I teach these practices, I always teach people start with 1 or 2 things, maybe 3 if you're a really go-getter, if you have that fiery personality and you're like, I've got this. And what you want to do is you want to do these until they become no thing. Like you don't even think about hopefully brushing your teeth anymore. Hopefully that's just something that it's non-negotiable. You get up and you brush your teeth. But once these become just so regular that you get up, you go in, first thing you do, scrape that stuff off your tongue. You don't want to drink anything first. You just want to go and get that off your tongue immediately. You'll start really seeing the benefit. And I will be going, I'm actually teaching a couple Dinacharya workshops in June.
Daily rituals for those just joining.
Yeah, for those just joining. Daily rituals, Ayurvedic daily rituals specifically. And I will, in those workshops, have time to go, we'll do a deep dive into them. So if you're interested, we'll give you the information at the end, or it's on my website, and please come and join me.
Yes, absolutely.
So then after we do that, what I like to do next is I will do some Abhyanga. Now, Abhyanga is a self-massage, and it's massaging all of the limbs of the body. This is a little bit more of an investment, and once I can get people doing these types of things and they start seeing the benefit, then they're like, okay, yes, I'll start doing the daily self-massage. But this is a way of just loving and caring yourself. This is the ultimate self-care and the ultimate love of covering your body in oil. And it's interesting that one of the 69 words for love in Sanskrit is the same word for oil. Same word for, sneha. Oh. So sneha, so when you are covering yourself in sneha, then just think that you are covering your entire body in oil.
Spell that.
I'm so bad at spelling.
Oh, sorry.
S-N-H-A.
Phonetically, one more time?
Sneha. Yeah, S-N-H-A. I'm horrible at the Sanskrit spelling.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So,
I think everybody is.
So
Except Cheryl Oliver.
Who's the master, and Marie Radcliffe.
Yeah.
And so what we want to do is we want to cover ourselves with this oil. And the interesting thing is the oil is going to calm the nervous system, because the sense of touch is related to the air element, and the air element is related to our skin. And so when we are putting the oil on our skin, we're actually continuing that way of building sattva, the way of building harmony and clarity that we want to take through the day by using a base oil or a medicated oil. And once again, in the workshops, we'll have time to go into the difference between using a medicated oil, using a base oil, and which ones to use during the time of the year, which ones to use for your specific constitution. And there's a whole science to that. But starting with just covering yourself in oil, long strokes on the limbs, circular motion on the joints, doing ascending, transverse, descending colon, giving yourself a really nice little abdominal massage. Again, that's really going to help with elimination. So important to eliminate first thing in the morning.
Absolutely.
Really important to eliminate. So all of these are detoxifying practices that we put into place. And then once you're covered in oil, you kind of need to hang out there for a little bit. So what I really like to encourage people to do is invest in a small space heater. Just put a small space heater in your bathroom. Get a towel to put on the floor so that you can have your oily Abhyanga towel. And you want to kind of create this nice, cozy environment so that it's not something that you have to dread doing. Oh, I'm going in, I'm going to be freezing, putting my oil on. No, warm the oil up. So I actually have an oil heater in my bathroom that I use, or you can put water into a Pyrex measuring cup and then put your bottle of oil in there, get it nice and toasty warm, and then start doing the massage.
Don't microwave your oil.
Do not microwave your oil. In fact, if you have a microwave, you can either get rid of it, or if it is part of your house, I recommend removing the door and start storing your cookbooks in it, or put a lovely plant in it or something like that. So, and you don't want to microwave your water for tea before you drink it either. Boiling it is good.
Yeah.
So then while you're all oily, you have to hang out there for, 10 to 12 minutes. There's other things to do. So the last thing that we are going to talk about today, and during the workshops, I'm going to go in deeper and we will continue on the journey of more things to add, but I don't want to overwhelm, is the neti pot. So nasal irrigation.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. There's some fear around nasal irrigation. First of all, some people are afraid they're going to drown. I've never known that to happen. And I have invited several people over to my house to give them free neti pot lessons just to teach them the tilt and the tip. So it's all about the tilt and the tip of the head. Something else, use purified water. So there were articles in the news about people having brain amoebas and things like that. They were using dirty water.
Yeah. So you don't use your sink water unless you have a filtered system, right?
Right. Well, but even that, you want it warm,
Right,
So
right.
you want to make sure that this water is really, really clean.
Mm-hmm.
So typically what I do is I take it from our Berkey, our water purifier,
Mm-hmm.
and then I put it in my electric tea kettle and I bring it up to a boil just to get everything out of it. And then I put it in a Pyrex, a little measuring cup, and then I add my neti salt. Now the reason I wanted to pull out the neti salt is it's really important which salt that you use. So you do not want to use pink Himalayan salt. I use that all the time for cooking. However, there's way too many minerals and granules in it. And if you look at it at the bottom of your neti pot, you'll see a lot of rough things. And that's not going to feel comfortable going through the nasal passages. So I like the Himalayan. There's another company called Ancient something. They carry them at Whole Foods. But you just want to make sure that you get a salt that's specific.
A neti salt.
Neti salt.
It says neti
Neti
salt.
salt.
Yep.
Yeah, something specific for neti salt water. And then
And you do that daily. You don't do it when you have a cold.
right.
This can help prevent that, can't it?
It can help prevent it. For some people, depending on the constitution, they may do it 3 times a week. Other people can do it daily. Like my husband, he doesn't prefer to do it daily. For me, it is best for me to do it daily. He usually does it, 3 times a week, something like that, 3, maybe 4 times a week. So, and this is something that, you and I could have a conversation about what would be best for you specifically. But the important thing is you want to make sure that you don't have too much salt or too little salt. Because if you have either too much salt or too little salt, it will not be comfortable. And when you have the perfect amount of salt, it is just like silk moving. It's just silky goodness.
I like how you said it should taste like a tear,
Yes.
like your tear, right? We don't know how salty, how a nice salt actually,
Right.
nice taste.
Right. So if you stick your pinky in and taste it, and it tastes like the ocean, that's too much salt. If you stick your pinky in and you taste it and you don't taste enough salt, then you need to add some more salt. So it should taste like your tear. And when it tastes like your tear, then you know that that's the correct saline solution for your sinuses. Another thing is the temperature. Cold neti water is yucky. Yeah, it just doesn't feel good. So, and also we don't want to cauterize our nostrils as well. So you want to make sure that it is body temperature. And like I said, when it is done with the perfect amount of salt, the perfect temperature, it's just, I was doing it this morning, especially after coming off a few days of feeling congested and not great. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I just love this. It just feels so good.
Do you do that in the shower or do you do it in the sink?
I do it over the sink.
Over the sink, but
I do it over the
people can
sink.
do it in the shower as well. if
They could do
want.
it in the shower. I mean, this is ceramic.
Okay.
And my shower, because I'm getting into the shower and I'm oily and
You don't want to break it.
I don't want to
right?
break it. That's just, I don't trust myself in that way. If you
My
want,
husband will say, you don't put it in the shower. I'm like clumsy. I break
Right.
everything.
so I mean, you could sometimes they have copper ones that sometimes you could get.
Yeah.
So that might be, something else. Circling back around to the copper cup. I just want to say, when you start using a copper cup, it's really important to keep it clean, because you do not want to put the water in there and then have it become oxidized, and you don't want to be drinking the oxidized copper water. So really easy way to clean it is just with lemon juice. So what I do is I put this in a larger coffee mug, and then I'll squeeze a lemon in there, just throw it in, and I will fill the entire thing, cover it. let it sit for the day, and then before I'm ready to go to bed at night, I will rinse it out, wash it, and then fill it with water.
Beautiful. So to summarize it
Yes.
up, the 5 daily rituals, you could do 2 if you just want to implement 2 to start. It's a beautiful way to just honor your health, honor you. So you want to just recap
Yes.
Okay.
So as soon as you come into consciousness that you're waking up, set the ritual of thank you, gratitude. So it doesn't have to be anything dogmatic. It's just gratitude. I mean, you woke up. That's huge. Lots of people don't wake up. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you even have this day is beautiful. And then as soon as you're done with your gratitude ritual, go ahead and stand up, go into the bathroom, scrape your tongue. Get all that yuckiness off your tongue. After you scrape your tongue and you have a good clean tongue, then you can drink your water. And then after you're done drinking your water, hopefully before in between the water and the oil, you have eliminated. If you haven't, then we can work on some elimination techniques. That's a whole nother thing. Mm-hmm. But then we're going to cover ourselves in that loving oil. Lots of love in the oil, just feeling gratitude. And it's really nice. So like Tyler and I, my husband and I, he's sitting over there. That's why I keep pointing.
I should show him. I'll show him at the end if he wants.
It's nice because we do our Abhyanga together. And so he can get my back, I can get his back. Otherwise, Gomukhasana arms works really well.
You're watching. Give me a heart, babe.
Yeah. So, it's nice to Abhyanga with your partner. Doing.
I got Abhyanga by my partner. That's awesome.
That's a t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And so then while you are sitting in your lovely luscious oil, then you are going to go ahead and do your neti pot, and you're just going to clear and clean the sinuses. And we can go on. There's lots of other rituals, but
like
I don't want to overwhelm.
Brushing. Yes. Even dry brushing. When do you fit that in? Like after you've oiled?
No. You dry brush before the oil.
Yeah.
So typically you dry brush in Ayurveda, we use silk gloves, or you can use a dry brush called Darshana. And again, it's the same strokes towards the heart, circular motion. But what that's going to do, that's going to slough off any dead skin cells. It's going to open up pores, allow them to be ready to pull in the medicine from the Abhyanga oil. And also it stimulates the lymphatic system, which the important thing about the lymphatic system is it doesn't have paracelsus, so it doesn't stimulate itself. So unless we move the lymph, it's not going to move.
Wow. So if you guys want to learn more, she is an encyclopedia. I just could listen to you all day long.
Thank you.
I really love it. And, Lorilee is also a therapeutic massage.
Well, I do Ayurvedic treatments.
Ayurvedic.
Yeah.
Masseuse.
Ayurvedic. Yeah.
Okay. So that's here in the studio as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go to her website, Moksha Ayurveda PHX.com to just read about her, and to there's a newsletter she has a garden out here that's crazy, so I'm going to be bringing her back. Makes food recipes all the time, creating new recipes, but you have a couple workshops coming up this month, so let's talk a little bit about those.
Sure.
And then they can get more information on your website.
On the website, yes. Also, I do write articles for a company called Banyan Botanicals. So actually this oil is from Banyan Botanicals. So you can go onto my website and go through my article archive if you want some more information, breaking all of this stuff down.
Wonderful.
So at Cheryl's, at Authentic Yoga Teacher Training in North Scottsdale, I'm actually doing a 3-part series with her, 3 Sundays in a row, starting this Sunday, the 5th. So the 5th, the 12th, and the 19th. And the first one actually I have my notes here. The first one on the 5th is Ayurvedic principles for detox. So we're going to talk about why we detox, what we detox from, how it looks like in Ayurveda, how it looks, the disease process, all of that. So that's from 11 to 1 on the 5th. On the 12th, we're doing one of my favorites called Kitchen Pharmacy. And it's how to use your spice cabinet as a pharmacy. So when I was feeling really congested, I pulled out a bunch of my cinnamon sticks and I was just sipping hot cinnamon tea all day. Cleared me out,
Wow.
Drained me out. So our food is medicine. and it's really important to start approaching food as medicine.
It's what Hippocrates says, let medicine be thy food, let food be thy medicine.
Yes.
Thousands of years ago.
And then the third one is I'm doing Dinacharya daily rituals for her on the 19th. And so all three of those are 11 to 1, the 5th, the 12th, and the 19th. And you can sign up. I think you have to go to her website, or if you go to my website, there'll be a link to jump you to her website. She's doing a special. They're $35 a piece, or they're 3 for $99. So you can go ahead and do that. On the Saturday, the 11th, I'm going to be at Yoga Pura in North Phoenix from 1 to 3, also doing this Dinacharya, this teachings, the daily rituals of all of this fantastic self-love.
I love it.
We do. So I also have a cooking class.
Tell us about the cooking class.
Yes, I have a cooking class on the 26th, and the cooking class are recipes to build the immune system during this winter season. So my newsletter is coming out end of this week, beginning of next. I can't remember when I have it slated for, but I just created an Ayurvedic winter immunity pho recipe, which Tyler and I were eating last night.
Oh, I'm over.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
It's really good.
Oh, that's great.
So that's actually going to be in the newsletter, but that's like a tease of what we will actually be doing at the cooking class, and that is Sunday the 26th from 1 to 3 here in my kitchen.
Scott, mark your calendar. Okay, I want to do this. How fun.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Anything else you want to add?
No, I just want to thank you for bringing this information to the world. It's a wonderful platform. Thank you so much for inviting me and asking me to be a part of this. I'm happy to figure out some more time and come back and do this again.
Absolutely. And this is my first time launching actually Wednesday Wellness. So I'm putting it out there, universe, that I'm going to be doing on Wednesdays a Wellness Wednesday. Why not? I mean, health and wellness has been a huge part of my life. When I worked in TV news, I was a health reporter as well. I had a little health beat in another market. And then anytime when I worked here in Phoenix, anytime there was a health story, even a cancer story, I was always just drawn to, oh my gosh, they gotta help people. And so that's my passion, is to help people. Hi, Mia, my sister's on there. And yes, you will have to catch the replay. So if you're just joining us in the middle or the end, please take time and watch this and have a watch party. You know, you have the little button that says watch party. Share this on your page, because health is everything. And this woman is amazing. Like Lorilee, I just, when I was introduced to her through the yoga community, and then when I started advancing my trainings, and she would be a part of that, I wanted more. And so I was like, well, how I'm going to do this for the first day of the month, the first of the year, putting it out there. And what better person to start this
Thank you.
beautiful wellness segment than right here with you.
Thank you.
So we got to have Tyler. I got to show you. Come here, Tyler. Do you want to be on? Come on.
Come on. Here.
This is her wonderful partner and husband, and he is amazing. So anyway, just
these are very much non-binary practices. I will say I noticed from watching her teach that there's a lot of women that come to these classes, and a lot of women clients, and a lot of women doing these things, but I have to say I think more men need to do this. It's not for women only, it's not for men only. If you're a human, if you have flesh and have skin and a body, this is what you should be doing to start your day. It's been wonders for me.
Oh, really? Tell me tell me a story real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. Come on up.
I think it's just, it's a really good, healthy ritual to build the time in to start the day that really makes me feel more grounded and prepared and ready to go and comfortable. And this is fantastic. The oil is great. It was a little weird at first getting used to it, but I pretty quickly adjusted to it.
I'll be taking a bottle home with me.
And it's good if you're with someone that
Sure.
time your day to do this together. And we talk and kind of start our day and what are you doing today? And we have time just standing there doing this stuff. And
Play mantras sometimes.
yeah,
And
you
yeah.
get to watch your partner scrape weird stuff off their tongue. Me too, you know.
Look what I got.
Yeah.
What'd you have for dinner last night?
Yeah.
It's good. It's
Aw.
understandable knowledge.
Yeah. It's just taking the time. So people go, I don't have time. I got to go to work. I don't have time. So how do you, I would say how do you incorporate this in your daily regimen before most people who have jobs that have to leave their house?
Mm-hmm. So we always make time for what's important to us.
Yes.
So I typically start with asking people to turn on their alarm 15 minutes earlier. Just get up 15 minutes earlier. And then from there, once you're really experiencing the benefit, you'll get up 15 minutes earlier. Because if you ask people to just get up an hour earlier, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't get up a whole hour earlier. And the wonderful thing about that is then that means you're going to be going to bed a little bit earlier at night. That's a whole nother conversation about sleep. And we can have a big conversation about sleep and what time you go to bed. And we already covered what time to get up, but sleep is critical. So yeah, just making it a priority, making you a priority. This is the vehicle for your soul.
Mm-hmm.
So think of it as if you purchased a car and then you never changed the air in the tire or filled the air in the tires or changed the oil or washed it. How far would that car travel? Well, this is your car, your vehicle for this incarnation. So if we want to feel good in our mind and our body, this is also incorporating the asana practice. We actually do the asana, not for Instagram, not for yoga videos, we do the asana program to build the strength and the flexibility in the body to do the really important work, which is the meditation. Because it's very difficult to meditate if you have PMS or if you have irritable bowel syndrome or if you have a toothache. And so all of this is to support meditation.
I love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
What a gift. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
And I love that Johnson says he is very excited for every Wednesday. So I'm going to have you back maybe next Wednesday.
We'll check it out.
Yeah. And we'll have some other beautiful health tips. So with that, I'm going to walk over here and I'm going to sign off. Thanks,
Namaste.
guys. Namaste. Oh, what am I doing? I was touching the screen. There we go.